Hello, gods and goddesses. I'm wondering if this lighting is going to be okay. I might need to cover my blinds. Okay, hold on one second. I was hoping that the backdrop would be nice, but it's just too early in the day. Is that going to be okay? Okay, I think that's going to be good. Hi, everyone, gods and goddesses. This is Goddess Loa here. One of my nicknames is Shamami, and I got that nickname from friends I used to work with who called me their shaman mommy. So I definitely rolled with that one. So today I just wanted to stop by and discuss a little bit of something that I kind of realized and opened up to during a conversation that I had with an empowered masculine in my life. We have great conversations, and he is definitely awakened. And, you know, it made me realize that through our conversation that I want to be, and I want this channel to be a bridge between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, or even on a, less embodied, level, if you're not really there to divinity on your journey. I think empowered is another word for, or awake. There's like different levels, and it really doesn't matter what level you're on. In fact, I have an inkling, because of how I've been attracting in my life, that I'm going to be attracting a lot of people that are newer on their journey and newly awakened. And I obviously have done a lot of work over the past few years to work on the divine feminine aspect within me, developing it and, nurturing it and healing it and allowing it to grow and expand and start to attract to me my greater desires and the time and space to do things like what I'm doing today with you guys. I want to make 2025 a year all about this channel and developing this channel. And I realized that even though I am so much more versed in the feminine, I want this to be a channel that is open up to the masculine and feminine. However, my way of thinking in that respect is very traditional in some respects, in the roles of masculine and feminine. And the masculine being the provider, the protector, the problem solver, and the woman being the receiver and the creator and the amplifier and the nurturer, and having these different, and the inspiration and the muse. Like, the woman is so many things, and having these different aspects. And when you have two people who have developed their own respective aspects, and I'm not talking about, like, when I talk about a nuclear family, I'm not talking about a man and a woman and kids, although like that's mostly what it is. I'm talking about a masculine energy and a feminine energy and the kids. So I'm a firm believer in the nuclear family and having both of those energies there to upbring the kids. Obviously, that's not that's an ideal situation and that's not everyone's reality, but I do believe that that is the best structure to create children in and raise children in. And there's a lot more to be said about family and community, and you can build on top of that, but at like bare minimum, I think it's so important to have the masculine and the feminine energies to really have like a good family, a good upbringing, to raise children that are going to be, doing really well in society and in their own life and with their own creatorship and, being just a balanced person. So, anyway, all of this to say that I want to open up this channel so it's not just going to be hi goddesses, it's going to be hi gods and goddesses, or goddesses and gods, however I decide to say it that day. Everything is an ebb and flow. Everything is a balance. And when we can create the space within ourselves to develop our energies that we're supposed, like my feminine. I am a woman. I was born as a woman and I have a lot of feminine energy in me. However, I was born into a set of circumstances in my life that required me to go more into my masculine in more of a fight or flight and survival kind of mode for most of my life, until I started to come out of the survival mode and into, a more just like regular life. And when I got to that regular life, I realized that my world, even when settled, I was still too masculine, and that I wanted to change that. And my partner at the time was a male, but he was kind of more on the feminine side. And I took the masculine role in a lot of ways, even from the beginning, even from, pursuing him, telling him that I liked him, helping him with his business. I took the masculine role and I built him up and provided things for him and chose him, which is a masculine role. And then as things started to develop in our relationship years later, I wanted to kind of switch roles. And then I tried to build him up, but that wasn't his energy. And you don't be with someone to change them, So when that relationship ended, I really realized that my next partner, my next person, my forever person, especially if I have that, has to be masculine. So how do I attract a masculine person? Well, I become more feminine. And through that decision of me deciding I want to live a more feminine life, and so I'm going to start practicing, learning, researching different ways to develop, activate, nurture, implement different feminine aspects of being and living. And that has literally changed my life. Okay. And I have naturally started to really attract more masculine men, but it's also because that's what I'm looking for. It's what I want. I want someone who's going to be able to provide for me, help elevate my life, help create more time and space freedom, therefore creating more creative freedom for me to come on here and make these channels that I want to do and have discussions that I want to have lectures that I want to have. And then I have to spend a lot of time learning all the time to be able to come back and talk to you guys. And, I believe that we shouldn't ask for, well, we can, you definitely can, but it's easier to ask for something when you already give yourself that. It's easier to receive something when you already give yourself that because you know you deserved it. So I've gone through so much work to create a space where I have a little bit more space in my life, where I can sit down every day and talk to you guys. Not every day, but you know what I mean, as much as I can. And bring up different ideas and bring up different experiences and bring up all these different metaphysical topics of empowerment, topics of, occult knowledge and spiritual knowledge and application, real world application of these new awarenesses. And I would love to attract people who are coming online and want to know what the heck is going on. I have a few people in my surrounding circles who have come to me and been like, I knew you were on to something, and they were curious, but I can't teach certain things in certain situations because some things have to be self-discovered. But if you have come as far as to find me online, then you have self-discovered enough to learn more things. So this person a year or two ago was in a space where I couldn't teach him. He was curious, he was fascinated, but he didn't understand. And now, fast forward a year or two later, we're having conversations about metaphysical topics, and he's having new understandings about his energetic awarenesses of his own energy and others, and how to control and navigate those energies. And, with that new awareness that he had, I was able to expand on top of that. So you can't make someone wake up. You can't make someone have certain awarenesses. Curiosity is a good sign, but it's still not enough. You got to wait until they have some of their own verbiage just from experience. Like for me, like I follow some people who just read and learn and apply, and that's great. I love that. But and I guess I learned about alchemy through the book, The Alchemist, in a more abstract way. But some other people that I watch online, like Shara7, she talks about how she read the book, The Alchemist. Well, Shara Goddess. She talks about how she read the book, The Alchemist, or not The Alchemist. Sorry, that was me that read The Alchemist. She read the book Alchemy for Dummies and then just started applying it. But for me, I started doing alchemy physically, energetically, before I started saying the word alchemy, So there are different ways to introduce different things to people, but then there's also a time, and people have to have certain realizations and certain awarenesses before you can really start diving into spiritual topics. And, you know, you've got to really use your discernment to gauge who's ready. And you can use certain signs if they have their own verbiage, if they have their own way to communicate something that they've experienced that has opened their eyes to a greater level, which you have to even like kind of have the wool lifted to be like, is there something else going on outside of me? Is there more to this reality than me and my immediate experience and what I see physically around me? Like, that curiosity is good, but it's just curiosity. It's not a knowing, it's not an understanding. When it turned into an understanding, that's when you can build upon it. And then you lead to greater understanding and greater understanding and greater understanding. So if someone's like, yeah, I'm curious, like, how do you do what you do? Like, it seems like there's something going on over there. You can't be like, well, I'm an alchemist. I take lead and I turn it into gold, but with energy and things in my life. And, just do energy work and magic and intention setting and, just really following my intuition and only listening to myself and, knowing that I am a creator and that I'm connected to source and that source is expressing itself through me. And, you can't go and just like put all that on someone immediately just because they have a curiosity. But when they start to understand that they are more powerful and more of a creator in their life than a passerby from their own experience and their own understanding, that's the people that I want to talk to. That's the people that I want to attract. That's the people that I want to guide into themselves so that they can guide themselves. I want to guide you with real world applications to new discoveries, knowledge, realizations, perspectives. Because with the awakening comes a lot of darkness too. I wouldn't be surprised if the next time I see this guy, he's a hot mess because he finally opened some doors, broke down some walls, and now he has ended up in a spiral and conspiracy theories, and he's no longer having cognitive dissonance because he's broken whatever barrier he had and can now intake new information without it threatening him. And so he increases, because he's increased his light, he increases his dark. And one of the ways to kind of do shadow work is to do shadow work of the collective. There's a couple different ways to do shadow work. In order to gain light, you have to trek through your shadow. And your shadow isn't only limited to yourself. Your shadow is our collective consciousness and its shadow. And all of the heaviness and darkness and greed and slavery and programming that there is. And then you're like, well, what the? And some people start to spiral for a little while. I went deep and I was like, holy shit. Until I realized that, first of all, this is taking my energy. Now at this point, I know things are fucked up. Okay. I know. I don't need to be reading it all day, every day. What I can do is take an empowered route and go and really work on myself and explore my energy body and heal my energy body and clear my energy body through repetitive discipline with hot yoga and meditating in the end of the practice, savasana. For years I did that. Just dove right into my insides. Started playing games, like my whole entire core was a crossword puzzle, and I was trying to take out the black in every single one so that the universe could speak through me instead of through these tiny little spaces that we give ourselves as a human. I realized that fighting fire with fire isn't going to do the trick. That's just going to give away my energy, and that's what they want. The way that I take back my energy is I go in, I do the internal work, and I put the intention out there that the internal work that I did and the darkness that I obliterated and the light that I called in reflects into the collective. So, I think that's it for today. That was my little talk. And to tie that back into the beginning, all of everything that I just said applies to masculine and feminine. Anyone who is becoming, I think I'm coming up with so it's like awakened, and then there's like curious, and then there's like awakened, and then there's like empowered, and then there's like creator, which is like God and goddess level. So I'm gonna write this down because eventually I'm gonna do a course, for people to embody themselves, people who are curious to become awakened, and through that awakenedness become empowered, and then through that empoweredness become a creator. A fellow God. So it's for all of us. And, everyone's talking about this, the 20th century is like the number 2. So it's like back to like more feminine. And, a lot of women are kind of swearing off men right now in a lot of ways. They're angry. Men are feminized and trying to be taken care of the way women are supposed to be taken care of. And women are mad about it. They're mad about having to do everything and not even getting any good treatment out of it. But that's because everything in our society has been broken and backwards for a long time, forever. We have to fully reformulate it, because forever ago, not even very long ago, women didn't even have rights. And then we fought for rights, but the rights we fought for was choice. And then we just got like a lot more responsibility and confusion in a lot of ways. So I want us all to clear ourselves out and allow our divine to express through us, whether we're masculine or feminine, and be empowered through that energy. And that's how, once you've created that, then you attract your counterpart. And that's how we create at an ample rate. Because an empowered masculine and an empowered feminine in their respective roles come together so much greater. so much greater creatorship through the balance of those, through the reciprocated energy. There's a building aspect that is like, I think like 900 or like some crazy number times more than a feminine, than a masculine energy building together. A masculine and a feminine energy with the same goal and their respective roles can get to that same goal 90 million so much faster, so many times faster. So we're supposed to be working together. We don't need to be hating each other. We need to be accepting who we are, figuring out where we're not being empowered, what we're avoiding, what we're afraid of. Figure that out, transmute it, alchemize it, turn it into something else. Turn it into what you're supposed to be. Acceptance, allowance. You know? All right, gods and goddesses and goddesses and gods. This has been a great talk. I'm really excited about today. I hope there's a lot more talks like this coming up in the near future. And I hope that one day this video has lots of views and it's just the beginning of bringing people together in understanding and co-creatorship. All right. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for the day. But I hope you have a great day and you live authentically and in an empowered way. That's a weird thing to say. Did I say it right? Live in an empowered way. That's what I meant. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a creator. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.